guys, it's a modern day Nana. Okay, so today we are going to put together a couple of different candle holders that I thought we could kind of fix up so they'd be something that went in a hobbit hole or something we'd see in a foresty vibe setting. So this is what I've got. I have a bunch of candlesticks. I have some glass ones and some different ones, but I got this out. I thought this would be nice. Where we're having the wedding, there's an old piano, and I think people usually put like their remembrance pictures on there, you know, of the people they want to remember and light a candle, like that have passed on. So I know we're going to do something like that. So I thought that might be a nice place for something like this. And I've got real candles. I know they do burn real candles at the venue we're using, but also I've got fake ones, and we can do something with those, see what we think. Okay, so all this was just a glass, this part was just a glass candle stick that I got at the thrift store. You know, just a nondescript, plain old glass one. I also picked this up, and I'm not sure it fit in here perfectly. I'm not sure, you know, what this was about. It was a really good color. You might be able to see it a little bit. It was a good brassy color, but this was just clear. I had painted it white. So, you know, that didn't go, and I thought, let's just paint it black, because I'm feeling like they would have had more like wrought iron stuff in that setting, because it was that long ago. And hobbits weren't, I don't think they were rich in wealth. They were rich in family and friends and community. But, you know, I don't think, obviously, they would have had like a gold candlestick. So this was my thoughts on it. Now, I do have my little rub and buffs here, and I thought we could kind of highlight it and mess with a little bit with the rub and buff. And then I've got, I just used, you know, just a black spray paint. This is a satin. A flat would have been better, honestly. I think a flat would have been better, but once we get done, you know, I don't think you'll be able to tell too much. I had gotten these candles at Dollar Tree last year. I think they were on like the $3 or $5, and I think I got them around Halloween. I remember using, oh, you can't see real well, but it's got a good light, you know, if it's darker out. So I've got these that we could work with. They were in it. I just put a little piece of double-sided tape, and, you know, they stayed nice and neat. And then these have like a little remote control. So there's that option. And then I also picked these up at the thrift store, and I just so happened to have 8, which is what I need, of these super nice. It says on here they were 79 cents, so you can tell they're old, because they'd be a lot more than 79 cents a piece now. Anyway, so there's 8 of these if we want to use real. What I was thinking was we could take, and this is just an old book, we could take, because I know she had made a board, my daughter-in-law to be had made a board, and there were some wrapped, like they were wrapped in paper, the candles were, and I think that they would really like that. And then I think all they did, might be tricky on these, might just have to tear them, they took it and like burnt, like they wrapped it like this, I think, but we wouldn't have to do that. And then they made it higher and burnt it down. But since this is plastic, yeah, could do it on the real candles, but this might look really cool. And then we're going to put some moss on the candelabra. Now they've got a bunch of stuff out at the venue that we can use, but of course I can't mess with, you know what I mean, I can't alter it, so I have to keep that in mind. So I've just got some different kinds of moss. Don't even know where I picked this up at. sometimes you can find it at thrifting, Walmart, you know, online, whatever. This is just a partial bag of the Spanish moss. I'm really thinking we want to go woodsy, you know, like we're in the woods. So let's just start, and let's just do, I've got the black rub and buff. I probably need to invest in a couple other, but this stuff is really worth your money. It goes a long way. I don't remember how much it was. You can look, you know, all the stores have it. Let me put my glasses on, I can't see what, this is gold leaf. I have antique gold. Oh, and this is a silver. So I think I've just got a rag. I think I'll do the antique gold. Probably will be my best bet. So I'm just, you could use your fingers too if you want. I'm just going to put a little on my rag. See, that's just a little, literally a little dab. And I'm just going to kind of, you know, kind of hit some spots. And it really does go a long way. But just to give it some highlights. And I've just got my finger. And I'm just kind of dabbing around. So I've got some other things out I'm wanting to get working on, but I've got to get a few more supplies. I got my stapler out, and then I found staples, but the staples I found were too big for my staple gun, so I found the old crusty stapler I had. I don't guess it's called a gun, and it didn't have the end on it where you put the staples in and like clip it in. And I mean, that thing is probably 30-40 years old. Easy. So anyway, yeah, my son had to go to town to get something for the mower, so he's supposed to be bringing me back staples. We'll see if they, you know, are the right size. So I needed a stapler, and actually, for what we're doing, I needed a bag of dirt. So yeah, so what we're gonna do, and I kind of got rambunctious. My girlfriend came over last night. She was helping, actually she's an herbalist, so she was actually out harvesting some herbs at a friend's house. She showed them to me. She had some feverfew, was it feverfew? I think it was feverfew, and chamomile. I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly what I'm gonna need for this wedding. But that stuff's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be in season. So I'm not sure, guys, what I'm going to do about that. I am actually growing flowers, and, you know, I mean, it's a good thought, but might have to just end up buying flowers. I've looked at a couple places online, so we'll see. Oh, this is looking so much better. Just a little rub and buff, give it some dimension, kind of hit the high spots. Just a tiny little bit. Oh, this is looking pretty good, just like this, guys. I don't think we'll even need to do the other rub and buff. Okay. All right. I like it. I think that's good. And we used a teeny tiny little dabaroo. just to give it some dimension. Okay, now I have this moss, but I think this is probably going to be very, very similar. This is in clumps, which is kind of cool. I might leave this for the next. This is like in a, well, it's called sheet moss. I might leave it for the next project we're doing because that's going to require something a little more put together. This is actually came in a brick and I rehydrated it. We'll do one together later. I've got some drying now. It's like this little brick and you stick it in water and poof. So yeah. Okay, so I think it's just as simple as getting our moss and a glue gun and just kind of start sticking moss where we feel like it could use a clump of moss. And you know, sometimes more is more and sometimes less is more. I kind of feel like in this situation, less is probably more. And I don't think this will be setting on a bed of moss. We're going to have a bed of moss on the tables with what we're putting on the tables. And I think I showed you some of the mossy books we've done, which I just got this sheet moss at, well, not sheet moss like this. I honestly don't even know if it's real moss. Like this is real moss. It smells like dirt. It smells great. The other's kind of fake. But anyway, you know, or it's been put on this sheet. We've done projects with it before. Anyway, I'll get it out. We can do some work with that. Just kind of randomly sticking down some moss, like it's been out in the forest, and you know, not the same spot on each little round. Just kind of altering where we've got it at. You know, just till it looks good to you. Oh, so cute already. I love it. Okay. Stop, Nana. Maybe a dab right here. Okay. All right. So that was easy enough. Now let's try our ones that have a battery in them. And again, I think this is going to be pretty easy. We can just put a dab of hot glue, and I don't know if we want to tear down to where there's writing. Let's do that. Tear down to where the writing starts, and I'm just going to put a dab of glue here. Now let me see, it goes in right here, so have to screw in though is the thing. How are we going to do that? We almost need to put another piece down here. You know what, we could leave them screwed in though, and well, but then no, because then the batteries. So let's just put a dab of glue. We'll just experiment, okay? Uh-oh, I got it on the part I didn't want to. Let's just take that off. So we have that little piece done. And we have this piece done. Let's just screw this on. Okay. Now our light's going. Now if we wanted to, we could take, these are already pretty old worn pages, but we could take a little stain if we wanted to and stain them up. Here's this, let's just do this black since we've got it handy. But we could take just like a little bit of brown paint that you've watered down, or I often use that antique wax you get with the chalk paint, but we've got black, so I'm not going to go in the house right now. I'm just kind of dabbing it around, you know, making it look, kind of dab it around down here where these two pieces join, maybe right here on the edges a little. You know, just kind of make it look a little bit worn, a little bit more worn than it is. Like I said, it was an old book, but not anything, you know, important. Okay, so we just dabbed a little, you know, around the top there, see? We just dabbed a little black. Like I said, it might be better with brown, but I mean, our candelabra's black, so that kind of works. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do these. And I'll come back and show you the finished product, and then we can put some moss on these. I think it just, you know, will take a little bit, but I think a little bit of moss would be cute. Okay, let me do these real quick. Okay guys, so here is look one. So all I did was glue some paper on to the candlesticks. These are all, you know, battery operated, so you know, we don't have to worry about anything catching on fire. And then I just stuck some moss on it, and yeah, I think it turned out pretty darn cute. You know, I don't have it like in a setting right now, so it, you know, there's that. But so okay, so here's look one. Now I went ahead and unwrapped my candles, and let's go ahead real quick and go for look two. Did I tell you guys that we're going to be doing books? There's going to be books like on the tables, and we've covered some of the book covers in moss, that sheet moss I was telling you about. So it's kind of be kind of the forest theme with you know, definitely books included. So I'll just pull these out real quick, and let's take a look. If we wanted to, we could just do the plain white candles. Now I just took some moss and kind of stuck a thing of moss down, and then stuck my candle in it, and that gives it a cute base, plus it makes it nice and secure in there. Oh, you can't see the top of this. I'll have to back it up. Anyway, so that is that. I started working on these other candlesticks over here. They're that awful old orangish shiny, or that kind of orangish stain. I didn't really want to have to deal with sanding them off and going through all that, so I just put some black rub and buff on those. I wanted to kind of cover up some of this metal too, and then we can do something with those. So it's going to be a lot of candles, a lot of, you know, candlelight, that kind of thing. So and they provide candles for all of their things, but like I said, obviously not going to let me mess up, you know, their decor with whatever. I mean, I'm sure they won't mind a little bit of moss stuck here and there, but, well, there's going to be a lot of moss stuck here and there, but as far as actually gluing it or doing anything like that onto their stuff, of course I would not do that. Oh, that's super pretty too, just without anything, just the white. Let's see if I can, here, let me pull the camera back. Oh yeah, that's, okay. I almost think I like this better, guys. And hey, we can use these, you know, there'll be lots of stuff to use these in. And like I said, they have all kinds of candle holders, so we could stick them in one of their candle holders too. So anyway, I just wanted to bring you guys this. Just going to be working out. I think next video, I got the stuff. My son went to town, and I am going to, I've got a old upholstered chair, and we are going to cover it in moss, and I can't decide if I want to make live, make it a growing thing, you know, with live plants in it, or if I just want to do fake. I will decide, and we will get to working on that in the next video, okay? All right, it's the Modern Day Nana. You guys like and subscribe. Tell me which one you like best. If you like the candles wrapped in the paper book page, or you like this. This, I kind of like this better. So I had these candles, creamy colored candles I think would be best, but you know, what can you do? So, all right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.